Very pleasant morning to all your friends and juniors here. As many of you already know, IIT JAM is an examination for admission to the IITs. This year, 2,800 candidates had appeared for the IIT JAM in geology. Today, I am honored to introduce Mr. Megh Kanvinde, a student of St. Xavier's College. He's cracked the IIT JAM in geology for the year 2022. He's secured an All India rank of 3. He'll be graduating this year, and it's a truly remarkable achievement. One of his hobbies is going on field works, which I believe many of us share. He's also an incredible flautist. And then some of you all who were there for the farewell last week may have experienced it as well. Today, we are fortunate to have the opportunity to receive first-hand guidance from Megh here, to learn about various tips and tricks that can help us in competitive exams, specifically IIT JAM. So let's get our pens and papers out and welcome Megh Kanvinde with a huge round of applause.
Thank you. So I would like to start by saying that this is the first time I'm doing something like this. So please forgive me if I fumble or just stop in the middle because of some technical difficulties. And yes, I was in TY. I technically haven't graduated yet. I hope I graduate now. And I gave the IIT JAM in February of this year. And it went well, surprisingly. And I would be thankful to the department for everything they have done for me over the past 3 years. And it is only because of them that I have gotten this rank in JAM. So let's go. How to go about preparing for IIT JAM. This is the main topic. I've not given other competitive exams, so I'm going to focus only on IIT JAM, geology. I won't go into the other subjects. So yeah, let's go. So this is some basic information about IIT JAM. I'll just remove the microphone. Yeah, so this is some basic information about IIT JAM. The exam application date. I have included this because I know some people who have forgotten to fill the application. It is normally in August, September, October. And please keep an eye on the websites. The websites change every year. Last year, it was organized by IIT Roorkee. Next year, it will be someone else. They will have a new website. Please keep an eye on the application, okay? Because I know many people who forgot in other subjects to fill the application. The exam date is normally in the second week of February. Last year, like this year, it was 13th of February. It is normally between 10th and 15th of February. This is important because the sixth semester of college is still going on. The college syllabus is not over yet. So you have to keep this date in mind, okay? You will have to self-study a bit before that because what hasn't been taught in college till then has to be done by you before JAM itself, okay? The exam duration is 3 hours, which is good enough for 100 marks. Yeah, it feels like it is a lot. I felt that it is a lot, but it can get lengthy. So I will go into this later, but I'm just giving some basic information about JAM, okay? Now I'll get into the paper format, okay? There are 3 sections in JAM. The difficulty keeps increasing with each section, according to me, okay? The first section is only MCQ, single choice type answer, okay? You will have to choose one choice from 4 options, okay? And there are in total 30 questions. First 10 questions for 1 mark each, next 20 questions, 2 marks each, okay? And this is the most important part about this paper form. This section is, it has negative marking. This is the only section which has negative marking. You lose 1/3 of the total marks allotted for that question if you give a wrong answer. So for the 1 mark question, you lose 0.33 marks. For the 2 marks question, you lose 0.66 marks. So keep this in mind. This is very, very important. Do not guess and give answers. Even if you are unsure about the answer, even if you are 80% sure about the answer, I would say, wait, think about it later, come back to it, and then give the answer. Only give the answers if you don't know the answer, if you are very desperate and you know that you are losing a lot of mark elsewhere, okay? This is where you will lose marking. And there is this tiebreaker thing in JAM too, that if you get the same amount of marks, you get the same ranking with some other student, they will choose the student which has the least number of negative marks. Okay, so be aware of this. The first section, do not answer if you don't know the answer. The second section is of MSQ types. We are well versed with it. All our exams are MSQ types, so we get good practice for this one. Okay, and there are only 10 questions, 2 marks each. And these questions are a bit confusing. These can be a bit confusing. They purposely put options which are very close to each other, like change one word or maybe very closely spaced answers. So be aware of that. These are more understanding based questions. MCQ type, the first section, you have to learn things by heart and then give the answers. This, you have to understand the concepts and the fundamentals. So be aware of this. This is a bit more difficult than section A, according to me. So you will have to think about it. Although there are only 10 questions, it might take more time to get the answers for these 10 questions than for the 30 questions in the first section. Okay. Now, this is the most important and the most difficult section, numerical answer. Everyone calls it NAT, and there are 20 questions in all. First 10 questions, 10 marks each. 1 mark each, I'm sorry. And the next 10 questions, 2 marks each. And of course, the first 10 questions are a bit easier than the next 10 questions. Okay, and you will have to practice this. Okay, you will have to practice again and again and again and again, because even if you know the questions, they try to confuse you. Okay, they will put something a very short, subtle, hint in the question, or very small. They might ask you a very niche thing, and which if you just read it once, you might miss it. They also ask, answers in specific decimal places, like give answer in 3 decimal places, 2 decimal places, give the answer in 1 decimal place, integer. So keep an eye on that. This is very important. If you give the answer in maybe 3 decimal places when it is asked for 2 decimal places, you won't get the answer right. So yeah, and there is no negative marking in section B and C. Okay, only in section A there is negative marking. So as I said, practice for this. There is just no way out of it. Don't read questions before the exam while studying. Just don't read questions saying that I know the answer to this question. Write it down, write the answer down, write the solution down. There is no other way about it. Now I will get into the syllabus. Now the syllabus might look vast here. One second, I'll just have a sip of water. Now the syllabus might look vast here. I mean, it is kind of big. You have 3 years of BSc, all of it in one exam. Okay. Now they have purposely made the syllabus very, very big. Okay. If you read the syllabus, if you read the things which you have done, like paleontology or even meteorology, if you read it, it's very, very vaguely given. Okay. So that they can bend the syllabus. They know how to stretch the syllabus. Sometimes they give stuff, they question stuff which is kind of out of syllabus too. But you will have to predict that. So there is one thing which you have to do is go through previous year questions. Okay. There is there have been many exams and there are books which are previous year questions. They have question banks. You have to go through them again and again to get an idea of what can come. You might find a pattern in the type of questions which are coming. You might predict questions which might come. So to counter the syllabus, that is very important. Okay. Yeah, so I will go through the syllabus subject wise now, and the first subject is the planet Earth, or everyone calls it general geology actually. This is kind of easy, but you have to do stuff which is not done in college at all. Okay, you have to do physics problems too, physics, chemistry. So whatever you did in first year, maybe if you did not have physics in first year, even 12th standard physics is good enough. So familiarity with simple physics problems, gravitation is very, very important. Also, what I've given here, that is not it. Okay, you have to study other stuff. This is stuff which is not taught in college in geology syllabus, or which is very, very important considering exam. Okay, the first one, gravitation, is very, very important. Density and volume, Newton's 3 laws, Kepler's laws. many numericals come, force and energy numericals, pressure numericals. So this is very simple physics. Okay, these are very simple physics concepts which you might have done in your 12th or even first year. Then comes the solar system. This is basically, you should know the simple trivia about the solar system. Okay, like the 4 Galilean moons, what planets rotate in retrograde. You should know all this stuff. Okay, this you will get an idea of this about this by reading the previous year questions. Okay, so the planets, moons, types of meteorites, radiometric dating is very, very important. We'll do it in the semester, but I think all the element pairs are not done, which are expected in them, like sometimes potassium argon, which you might do. I won't delve into a lot of depth into this because you have not done this yet. But try to find questions which are not done in college. Okay, orogenic cycles, Wilson cycle. It is a very theoretical thing, very simple thing, but it has been asked again and again. Isostasy, there are numericals in isostasy, so there are many hypotheses in isostasy, which is not done in college. Okay, so it is not in the college syllabus. So these two hypotheses, Aries and Pat's hypothesis, there are numericals on it. If you search on the internet, you will get good videos, you get good resources explaining the numericals. So please look into that. Isostasy is very important. It comes repeatedly. Seismic waves and earthquakes, some simple numerical seismic waves, how they will behave with the Earth's interior, what are the shadows for the PNS waves. You should know about this. Okay, tectonics and simple tectonics and plate boundaries. Also, until recently, they used to ask questions which were basically India centered. But for my exam, they had a match the following in which there were types of plate boundaries and 4 locations like Iceland, New Zealand, Indonesia, the Andes. So you should know these basic types, okay? These important types, they can come, they are getting more, I don't know, the questions are getting more global, I would say. Until now, they were more India centered. And topo sheets, of course, we have done that a lot in college. Topo sheets are important. The Earth's interior, again, we have done that in college. You will do it in igneous petrology also. Abundancy of elements. Now, this is very important, okay? The decreasing order of the abundancy of different elements, oxides or ions. Like they might ask, they might give you 4 options with oxygen, silicon, aluminium, iron, okay? And they might ask you to choose an option with the decreasing abundancy in the Earth's crust. So you should know this, at least for the major first 8 or 9 elements, okay? Crust, the ocean, the entire Earth, the solar system, etc. Okay, you should know this. You have to learn this by heart. There is no other way about it. There's no understanding in it. A lot of this is learning things by heart. Okay. Now the books I would suggest for general geology is J.D. Winter for radiometric dating, interior of the Earth. This is all you need for both of them. Okay, interior of the Earth is very good in J.D. Winter. Also, radiometric dating is very well explained in J.D. Winter. Now, C. Emiliani, planet Earth is good for solar system and the interior of the Earth again. You can get a lot of trivia on it, which you will need for the solar system. Now, for physics, I think physics people must have nightmares about this book from the first year. This was the book which we used for first year. It was a reference book, Young and Friedman, University Physics, which you will find numerous numerical type questions, and it is very detailed. So don't get into a lot of depth in that part. Go through the simple numericals. Also, it has many lists giving the formulae, of different chapters. So gravity, pressure, density, volume, energy, work, optics. So get into this. Even chemistry, I missed that part. Chemistry, you should know basic acidity, basicity, those numericals, which are very, very basic, which you must have done numerous times. So the next subject is geomorphology. Geomorphology, I think you have done in the 3rd semester, right? Yeah, S5. I don't think you do a lot of work about geomorphology outside the college syllabus, because don't worry, I'll give the PPT to you guys. Don't worry, you don't have to take pictures. And yeah, so there is not a lot of stuff in the JAM syllabus which is outside the college syllabus. I think you might have PPTs from the 3rd semester. Use them very well. Use the reference book which you used. again, for fundamentals of geomorphology, there is not a lot of understanding in this. There is a lot of learning things by heart. Okay, so you have to learn these things. Also, again, I told you about how vague the syllabus is. You can see there. Transportation and deposition by wind, ice, rivers, sea, and resulting landforms. But they ask questions about karst landforms too, which is basically groundwater, and so they can ask anything. They ask periglacial landforms too. So you never know with jams. They can stretch the syllabus. Okay, so do all of this. Do drainage patterns. The questions come, quite a few questions come from drainage patterns, basin ordering, basin geometry, and those formulae which you did, linear areal parameters. So do that too. And the book, as I said, the reference book which you use for college itself. The next one is structural geology. Now you guys have not done structural geology. You have it is a very important subject for JAM. I would say it is more of an understanding this subject. You should be good with your concepts, good with your fundamentals, and visualization is very, very important in this subject. They might give you questions with no drawings. They will give you something like the plunge of this fold is this much, and there's a fault intersecting this fold. The fault has this strike and dip. So you should know how to visualize this. Try to draw it in the rough paper given. Try to practice drawing this. Okay. And yeah, so I won't get into a lot of depth about this, but start structural geology in the summer vacation. At least do the basics. The books, I would say, are the reference book which we use for third year, Akam Person, structural geology, well written, I think, and Martin P. Billings, it is a good book for the basic fundamentals. So you can start with M.P. Billings and Hakon Person probably. Now the outcrop maps which you will do are very, very, very important. StereoNet also you will do, very, very important. I won't get into a lot of depth into this because you don't know these things yet. So, and also structural symbols, attitude of planes, lines and planes. So now this is a very basic thing, attitude of lines and planes. So that's what I'm saying. Get strong with your fundamentals. If you mess up the strike and dip, if you mess up with the right hand rule, the entire question goes wrong. So I think the visualization, understanding, and the fundamentals are very, very important in this specific subject. Okay. Now this subject is very important. You will have to study the subject more than other subjects, I would say. Now paleontology, there is this thing with paleontology, our college syllabus and the JAM syllabus, they overlap, but a lot of it, the JAM syllabus has a bit more detailed, aspect about it. And so I would say, I personally I'm not a huge fan of paleontology, so I found it a bit difficult trying to learn things, learning things by heart. So there are many things which you have to remember, and also, so dentition and lifestyle of different bivalves, you might have done that. So you have to learn the examples, the genera, the lifestyle of bivalves, then the different classification schemes. Morphology, classification is very important for all of them. Brachiopods, mollusks include everything in that. Then trilobites, lactoloids, anthozoa, echinodermata. So you will have to learn the classification schemes. So classification, morphology. Don't learn the soft body part morphology. You don't need to know that. They will just ask the fossil, the hard shell part of it. And and the major evolutionary trends, and the age range. Age range is very important, even for some important genera, which you will do in stratigraphy in the 6th semester of India. Stratigraphy of India, you will get an idea of the different genera of brachiopods or even trilobites in India, and they ask questions based on that too. So you will have to connect these two subjects. Now, Indian examples from different formations or groups, and so Paleozoic and Mesozoic Himalayas. I'm not sure if you have done. No, you have not done this. So this will come in the 6th semester actually. So Paleozoic and Mesozoic Himalayas. I'm just keeping this for a record so that you can read this later. So Kutch Basin, Jaisalmer Basin, Trichinopoli Basin, Gondwana's plant fossils are very, very important. You can do it before the 6th semester also in the Diwali vacation probably. Shivaliks, the vertebrate fossils are very important, and evolution of elephant and horse, very, very important. You should know the lineage, okay? Now, again, they have not given anything from here in the syllabus. Elementary idea that vertebrate fossils in India, that does not include anything about horses or elephants, okay? You have to, find that pattern in the previous year questions to understand what can come. So this has come numerous times as evolution of elephant and horse. So do it well. Mass extinctions are important. You should know what important animal groups went extinct in the 5 major mass extinctions we have had. And the books, okay, the books which we use for college, the book which we use mostly for college is Henry Wood. You can use it, but it is an old book. So the classification schemes have changed a lot since then. So I would recommend, I studied a lot from these 2 books, okay, Benton and Harper and Ian K. Clarkson, okay. Now for morphology, I think Ian K. Clarkson is very, very good. And for evolutionary trends, Benton and Harper is very, very good. But these are very detailed books. You don't need to study everything. Learn what to study and what not to study, okay? Don't waste your time reading the entire book. Yeah. Now, stratigraphy is also, again, something which you have done, the basic fundamentals of stratigraphy. But stratigraphy of India, you have not done yet. And stratigraphy of India is basically divided into 2 parts. The pre-Cambrian stratigraphy of India, which will be in the 5th semester, and the Phanerozoic stratigraphy of India, which will be in the 6th semester. So this is very important. Here you will have to learn things by heart. There are different successions, stratigraphic successions for different regions of India, which you will find in the syllabus. Okay, the stratigraphy of Kadapa, the stratigraphy of the Archean cratons, stratigraphy of Paleozoic and Mesozoic of Spiti and Kashmir, etc., which you will do. Ashwin sir will teach you very, very well. So keep that in mind. Also, so what happens is the successions, they can change depending on the source. Now try to find the successions which are, accepted by JAM or asked by JAM. Like for example, Kutch has 2 successions. One is old, one is new. But JAM, asks questions based on the old one, not the new one. So you have to be careful about that. So you will have to go back to the questions again. I am repeating this again. Previous year questions are very, very important. Okay. Special time scale is very important. You will have to learn that. In the Paleozoic until the period and in the Cenozoic until the epochs. Okay. So you should know the range of each period. Okay. Which period is the longest in the Paleozoic and Mesozoic, okay? And you should know what is what, okay? You should know what is Cretaceous. Is it a period? What is it? It is a period. So you should know that. You should know what is the Mesozoic. You should know all this, okay? Also, you should be able to compare the length of periods and eras and years, okay? So that is what they can ask. What is the longest period given in the options, okay? So they can ask that. Paleontology is important for the Phanerozoic part. I said that in the paleontology part. Phanerozoic stratigraphy of India and paleontology are kind of connected. We will do this in the 6th semester, and they ask questions based on that. Okay. That point I explained the different successions for a region. Choose one which is most accepted or most common. Okay, by JAM. Okay. Remember stratigraphic successions. Okay, you will have to remember them. Make lists, stick them to your walls. The books for fundamentals of stratigraphy, we use this reference book, and I think you guys must have used this reference book in the 4th semester or 3rd semester. Gary Nichols, Sedimentology and Stratigraphy. There is another book, Sandbox Junior, Sedimentology and Stratigraphy. You can use those both books for the fundamentals. Also, you must have the fundamentals good for this one also. There are some understanding based which can come. And K.S. Waldia, which is also, K.S. Waldia sir has written this book, which is very nicely written, which we use for. So start reading it. Don't read that book. They might ask the lithologies, what are the rock types of the different formations, but they don't go a lot into the story behind it. They don't go a lot into the process, which Ashwin sir explains that. It is mostly learning things by heart, like mostly learning successions by heart, which is Yeah, a lot of ratta basically. And you have to find successions, you can go to research papers also, okay? Which is very important. You will have to find successions on the internet. You can, which are mostly accepted by them, okay? Mineralogy, now this is a big subject because it has crystallography, optical mineralogy, and systematic mineralogy. So crystallography, you have to be very well versed with every system and every class. You should be well versed with the forms. Now, there are some things which are not done in our college portion, okay, like Euler's polyhedra formula, which is very, very important. It is a very simple formula which you have to use. Hermann Morgan is taught in college, but you should know how to derive the symmetry, the number of symmetry elements from Hermann Morgan notations, okay? Stereographic projections also important. Conversion of Weiss parameters to Miller indices is very, very important. This comes multiple times and they ask confusing questions on this, okay? It might look simple, like just taking the reciprocal, but no, sometimes they ask questions which are very confusing. Now, zone axis and the conversion to phases, this is not done in college. So there are simple methods, formulae to do that. So just find internet sources to find for the numericals, which are very easy numericals actually. Pauline's 5 rules are very important. You should understand these 5 rules. They ask questions based on that, like using the radius ratio to find the coordination number and stuff like that. So this is also not done in college, okay? But these are easy things. You can easily do them. Types of polymorphism, like order, disorder, polymorphism, displacing polymorphism. You should know this. This is mostly theoretical, but there is a lot of understanding in crystallography. There is a lot of fundamental there is a lot of fundamentals. Okay, you should be well with the fundamentals. Optical mineralogy, again, there is a lot of understanding in this. There is not a lot of learning things by heart. You should know how it happens, how uniaxial interference figure is formed, how biaxial interference figure is formed. You should know because they ask questions based on this, okay? And yeah, they are sometimes complex questions in which you have to use your brain. You have to spend some time on it. And that's the reason fundamentals are very, very important. Also, crystallography you have done in the 3rd semester. So one thing I would say, start revising the summer vacation because it is natural to forget things. I had forgotten a lot of things from crystallography by the time I started studying for exam properly in the 3rd year. So start revising in the summer itself, okay? Systematic mineralogy now, silicate structures and their examples. You have done this in the 4th semester, I think, for different mineral groups, okay? So you should know the silicate structures, you should know the silicon-oxygen ratios, silicon oxygen ratios. You should know the bonding oxygen, non-bonding oxygen ratios. Okay, you should also know what names they are known by, like island silicates, orthosilicates. So you should know this. Okay, phyllosilicates, sheet silicates. So you should know the synonyms kind of. Okay. Yeah. Now structures and general formulae and basic properties of important mineral groups. Okay, you should know the general formulae, like even for even for complex, formulae mineral groups like micas. Okay, if you know the general formulae, I can guarantee you can write the formula for muscovite or biotite. Even though it seems long, it is not that difficult. They ask questions based on that. They also ask questions based on the coordination of the different coordination number of the different, parts of the general formula. So you should be aware of that. Am I going a bit too fast? Yes, going a bit too fast. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So yeah, and the basic physical properties, the basic optical properties. I'm not saying that for every mineral in that mineral group, like pyroxene, don't learn everything for everyone, but you should know the general physical properties, general optical properties. Okay. Yeah. And the books for optical and systematic, I think W.D. Ness is very good intro to optical mineralogy. You might have used that one, and it is everything that you need for optical. Perkins is good for systematic mineralogy, and Here, how this movement is good, also good for systematic mineralogy, especially the structures, the tetrahedra, the octahedra of different mineral groups. You should know basic stuff about it. It is very much detailed, dear Howie Zusman, but at least try to do the basic stuff which is given. Okay. Now the next one, petrology. Now you have not done this any of this in the third semester. So this is actually 3 subjects combined together: igneous petrology, metamorphic petrology, and sedimentary petrology. So there is a lot here. You can see the portion is quite big. I won't get into a lot of depth about this because igneous petrology, metamorphic petrology, all 3 subjects actually are done very well in college. I don't think you need to do a lot more outside the college syllabus for this. Okay. The only problem is sedimentary petrology is in the 6th semester. The college syllabus won't be over by the time you get exam. So you will have to self-study. You will have to start a bit in advance in the evaluation before the 6th semester. At least do the basics. Otherwise this is like you don't need to do a lot of stuff outside. Also, there are some understanding questions in igneous petrology also and in sedimentology also. So I won't get very much into this because we haven't done it yet. But yeah, so there is a little bit of fundamental stuff which you have to do well. Okay. The books, J.D. Winter is good for igneous and metamorphic. You don't need anything else for that. For sedimentology, Sandbox Junior, which is the reference book which we use in the 6th semester. Again, you can use that for stratigraphy also, fundamentals of stratigraphy. And DAV show sedimentary rocks in the field, a color guide, which is also a reference book which we use in the 6th semester. So you can use both. Start doing this in the evaluation and try to finish it before then. You have to. Economic geology. Now, this is an easy subject, but there is a lot of learning by heart. Okay. The processes of formation, you must have done this in the 4th semester. Okay, so all the major processes: magmatic, sedimentary, hydrothermal, metamorphic, residual, mechanical. Now I have given oxidation, supergene, enrichment in bold because you might think it is a small, topic, but this topic is very, very important in them. Okay, they repeatedly ask questions based on oxidation and supergene enrichment. Otherwise, now for the ores, okay, the metallic ores, even the non-metallic minerals which are economically mined, you should know the chemical formulae for the metallic ores for different metals. The Indian occurrences. Now there is a problem because there is a lot. You don't know what to learn because there are so many locations. So you will have to go back to previous year's questions and try to get an idea. Okay. So Indian occurrences of different ores, metals. Don't get into ores, get into the metals and even the non-metallic deposits. Okay. The process of formation and the lithology and the stratigraphic horizon for the main locations. Like they might ask, like our Tenzin deposit, they might ask you the process of formation, the lithology, the stratigraphic horizon. I'm not saying do it for everything. You have to get an idea of what to do and what not to do. Okay. Coal and petroleum occurrences in India are very, very, very you should know, I think you will do coal a lot in Gondwana, which will be in the 6th semester. Again, stratigraphy is related to this. A lot of the economic deposits, the mines and locations, you will get it from stratigraphy of India, okay, which you will do in the 5th semester. Okay. Basics of coal. Materials and different types of coal geology. And it is in the syllabus, so you have to do that. Okay. And the books for the processes: W.L. Cole, Economic Geology; Jensen and Bateman, Economic Mineral Deposits, are very good for the processes given above. And what locations for occurrences? Umeshwar Prasad is a good book. It is a bit old. It is updated in the year 2000, I think. So Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh are still not existing by that time. And there are many important mineral deposits from Jharkhand which are still given as Bihar and Umeshwar Prasad. So be aware of that. Use this book well. There are many occurrences given which are important, but just double check. Okay, the states, because the states are also important. They can ask, okay, this location, which state is it based in? Okay, so they might ask that. They have asked that once. So yes, and for occurrences, there are use reports by GSI and IBM, that is Indian Bureau of Mines. There are very good reports. You will get them for free on the internet. So you just search the metal like iron occurrences in India, IBM, you will get reports. Okay, you will get good PDFs about the abundance of these deposits, etc. So use them well. Okay. Now for this, you will have to make lists. The chemical formula, they are not easy to learn. There are many methods. Then Indian occurrences also, there are the names are quite weird, so you will have to learn that. You will have to make lists, put them on the walls, some education itself. Okay. Applied geology. Now, applied geology, there are two subjects in this: hydrogeology and engineering geology. Now, hydrogeology, I think you have done in the fourth semester, right? Yeah, yes, well. So, Darcy's law is very important. Every year, almost every year, a numerical comes. There are more formulae which are used in JAM, which you might have learned in college syllabus. So, try to find them. Go through previous year's questions. You will find numerical based on that. Okay, then hydrological maps are very important, and engineering geology. This is not all that you have to do. This is just some important stuff, types of slope failures. Now, engineering geology is in the sixth semester again, which is a problem. You will have to self-study before the JAM is held in February. So you will have to start, and you will have to finish at least a month prior to the exam. Okay. Yeah, the reference book which we use in college for engineering geology is Parthasarthi, which I don't think you will find an online copy. You will have to buy it, I think, or you can access it in the department. Okay. Kiam Pangar is okay. It is a very old book. It is not very detailed, but it has some important stuff about the about economic deposits in India too. So go through it. It's not very detailed. Also, engineering geology stuff. Also, a lot of that is in Kiam Pangar. So go through it once. It's not very detailed, and it is old, so just double check stuff, okay? And Todd and Mays, groundwater hydrology, I think that was the one which I used for the fourth semester. So use that for Darcy's law, okay, which is very important. Now all the subjects are over. Now these are the things to note, okay? These are the things which are very important. Revise multiple times. There is no way that you can study something once a week before the exam. You won't be able to get good marks, okay? So please revise, start early, be consistent. I'm not saying lose your free time, lose your entire free time for the whole year, okay? I did not do that. I was just being consistent. Do at least 1 to 2 hours now in the summer vacations every day, 1 to 3 hours. And later start increasing your time, okay? Slowly but surely, but revise what you have done in the third semester, the second semester, because stuff like crystallography, it has been a year since you have started it, so you will have to revise it, okay? You have to revise. There's just no other way about it. In the sixth semester, do not wait for stuff to be taught in college. It will be taught in college, consider it as revision, okay? Start the sixth semester stuff early. Start it in the Diwali vacation if you can, which is before the sixth semester. Try to finish it at least a month prior to the exam. Try to done with the entire portion at least a month prior to the exam. Only and leave that month for revision only and practicing, okay? Practice papers, etc. Okay? Do not ignore college exams. Yeah, so consider college exams as practice. I use them as practice. Do not ignore them. That's why you get your fundamentals strong. Do not ignore your college exams. Do well in your exams in college too. Thoroughly check previous year's questions. Very, very important, because around 30 to 40% of what comes in JAM is kind of repeated. Okay, it is not the same thing, but it might be things like numbers change or something like that, or maybe they just change the wordings. Okay, so go thoroughly again and again through previous year's questions. Try to find practice papers, books with question banks which you can buy. Then go through other papers too. I did not go through GATE a lot, but I would recommend you to do that because JAM is slowly getting difficult. Okay, more and more difficult. I'm not scaring you because if it is difficult for everyone. Okay, but if you go through these papers, like GATE has a more advanced syllabus, but there might be numericals which might come from GATE. Things might get repeated. So I would recommend at least at the last moment, like a month before the exam, you can go through these papers. You know, GATE, BH, which is the entrance exam for but you can go through the MCQs. Do it with the Delhi University entrances, so you can go through them too for JAM. Practice numericals again and again, because you know they try to confuse you in numericals. There's no way around it without practicing them by hand. Okay, you can't just probably read a numerical and say, "I know this. I know how to do this numerical." Don't do that. Practice it. Okay. I said this. Try to finish your portion at least a month prior to the exam. Yeah. So you will have to self-study, especially the 6th semester stuff. Start in the Diwali vacation at least for the 6th semester, and other stuff you can do it in the summer vacation. Like for structural geology, start with the basics. I'm not saying do the complex fundamentals about folds or faults or stuff like that. You can start with the basics, stress and strain. You can start with the basics in the summer vacation itself. You can use the books which I've given here. Okay. Practice managing your time for the paper. So I experienced this. I did not practice managing my time. I found the paper lengthy. I used to think the paper won't be that lengthy because I had seen the paper. I'm like, oh, I'll finish this in 2 hours. I can use the last hour to revise. Okay, no, it can't be done. There is a lot of pressure on you during that time. You are anxious. You are nervous. There are hundreds of people around you giving their exams. One thing I found which was very, very weird was the calculator. Okay, the calculator on screen. I took a lot of time to figure it out. I had to click the buttons through like from the mouse itself. So there is no keyboard. Keep these things in mind. I did not get a lot of time to revise in the paper. Okay, I got barely 15 minutes. Had I got more time, I could have gotten better marks. Okay, so yes, so practice managing your time for your paper because yeah, it feels that it is not lengthy, but it can be. Okay, so I think that is it. That if you have any questions, please go ahead. I'm open for questions. Like I'm free. I'll just go ahead. Also, I think the SYs have my number, my email ID too. They can forward it in the group. I don't mind you texting me, emailing me. You can arrange a call. I don't mind that for anything. I'm free basically in the summer vacation. So go ahead, ask me anything, text me, email me. I'm here to answer your doubts or anything. So yes, that is it. I think. If you please go ahead. Oh no, I forgot this thing. I'm sorry. Now, if I could dedicate my you have question? Okay. If I could dedicate my exam ranking to something, it is this book. This book helped me a lot. Okay, I would highly recommend it. Has all the questions from subject wise. They have the answer key. They have explanations for the answers, and the answer key and explanation. Then they have question banks for every single subject in the JAM portion. Okay, so a lot. Yeah, most of the stuff they have explained is right, but still double check because you never know. Okay, double check with textbooks and stuff like that. But it is very helpful. It also has questions from the physics exam, which was I think held in the 2010 somewhere. So yes, it is a very good resource. Buy it. It is on Amazon. There are other books too. You can try other books too, but this is very good. The IIT Jam Breaker series, Geology. Both these authors, I think they were GATE and Jam toppers. So yeah, they know what can come and know how to counter stuff. Okay, so use this book well. Okay. So yes, that is it. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you have questions, please go ahead.
You mentioned about practicing numericals. So
Yeah.
are you referring to like previous year numericals to practice, or like did you get them from anywhere? It's just practicing.
You can, previous years numericals, you have to practice them. Also, this book which I gave, there are many other books like that. Question banks. So you can practice from there too. You will find internet resources. You will find some places which offer, test series also. So you can, go for them, pay for them. You can get good practice through them. Okay. So practice numericals. Try to find them on the internet. Also, GATE papers might have stuff, might have numerical. So practice those. So you never know what can come. So yes. I know you might feel a bit overwhelmed. It might look difficult, but it is not that difficult. Okay, the paper might be difficult, but getting a good ranking, in my opinion, is not that difficult. Be consistent with your studies. That's it. You don't need to spend 8 hours a day to study. Okay, even at the end, like I was 10 days ago during the COVID peak before the exam. I was here in college for a cultural program. So 10 days before the exam. So you don't need to lose your free time. Just be consistent with your revision and getting a fundamentals in. Again, I'm stressing a lot on the fundamental aspect because JAM used to be a lot on learning things by heart, but now they are asking more complex questions because they have run out of questions. Okay, they are asking more complex questions. They are asking questions based on your understanding. So just be strong with your fundamentals. Be consistent. Revise again and again. Practice. Okay.
Does it mean that the pattern is fixed?
The pattern is fixed. Pattern since I'm not sure, but for the past. Yeah, that is fixed. Yeah, that is fixed. No, the pattern has been fixed for a while. Yeah. Each time I think there was some time with short answer questions also, but now. Even the numericals, numericals, you just have to enter the number. That's it.
Basically, now they have kind of a structure.
Yeah.
So there were jams where every year, depending on which IIT would give it, the breakups were different. You had no short answer, right?
No, but short answer used to be there. For some years it has not.
Before that, there used to be 200 MCQs. That's it.
Okay.
And multiple writing. Okay.
Yeah.
You got only 20 of them.
Yeah, my 10. MSQ is at 10.
So it has changed.
Yeah.
I do not know what a portion all of you knowing the way IIT teams function. Don't go by saying that this is exactly what they will do.
Yeah.
So it amounts to you reading when the forms are what is going to be the study, yes, but the kind of questions which good if they have fixed it and they are never going to change.
Yeah.
But I doubt it.
Yeah. I think they will give it in the brochure which will come before the application.
Major revision, but I didn't know of the timing.
Yeah.
Also,
I would say that keep an eye on the institute which is arranging because the types of questions also can change. Like for Roorkee, a lot of economic geology questions came, a lot of physics-based questions came from our exam. So try to find what is the strength. A lot of paleontology came for my exam because Roorkee specializes in a lot of paleontology. So try to find like Kharagpur, or they specialize in some fields of geology. So those questions might have more weightage. Okay. Okay.
They are the ones who manage.
Okay.
Your fees go over there, everything is managed by the guy. So that would be a wrong interpretation.
Okay, I was not sure about it.
Because
I'm
the
sorry.
team which sets the paper, contributions go from all earth sciences departments. Okay? So we've had contributions given by earth sciences from IIT Bombay, Rupi, Kharagpur. They just put in a huge amount. And then there's a team which sits and sorts it out and puts it. It's not one IIT which does the paper setting.
Yeah, I was wrong about
it.
it.
It's unfair and unethical. And to my knowledge, they have not openly declared that they do that.
Okay.
Three people.
Okay.
They don't do that.
Like several times before, teachers have like recommended for us group studies, like several previous years, like from those groups, multiple all India rankers have come. What's your opinion on it?
Now, I think it is your personal preference, I think, because for me, group study does not work. It does not work for me. I have to study alone. So, if it works for you, well and good. You can combine your resources. You can find more questions together. But for me, it did not work. But I think, yeah, it is personal preference. Okay, then. Thank you so much. This was very nice. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for inviting me. I would love to thank the department for whatever they did for me over the past 3 years. It is only because of them that I was able to come here and give this small workshop. Okay. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can just come to me and I can answer them. Also, my number and my email ID, you can forward it to them on the groups. Okay. Thank you.
So very good afternoon, everyone. I'm Charleston Demelo from the SYBSc batch, and I'm just here to give a vote of thanks to Megh and all those who have contributed to this seminar. On behalf of the Department of Geology here at St. Xavier's College, I would like to extend my gratitude towards Mr. Megh Kanvinde, who spared time out of his busy schedule to enlighten us with tips and strategies on how to tackle competitive exams, especially the IIT JAM examination. It was indeed a very insightful and enlightening seminar held. So thank you once again. I would like to thank all the professors from the Geo department for their cooperation in making this event successful. Events like these don't take place overnight. It was Professor Bobby who came up with the idea of this seminar and coordinated with Mr. Megh. Backed by a dedicated and motivating team, we were able to organize this seminar along with the teaching, non-teaching staff, and also students. I am grateful towards Bobby sir and the team of volunteers that made this event happen. Last but not least, I would like to thank the audience for attending this seminar and making it an interactive one. This seminar was indeed a fruitful event which will be of great assistance to our future endeavors as geologists. As a token of our appreciation, I would like to call upon Anthony to present Mr. Megh with a bouquet of flowers.